Hello there. How you guys doing? How you having a good evening, good day, or good afternoon where you come? Well, I'm going to show you something what's been happening to the Chinese. I'm going to show you first. I'm going to show you the ugly what they think about, particularly one of the groups of people when it comes to foreigners. They don't like black people. But here's the thing. Why that they doing all these racist things back in their homeland of different places in China, a couple cities, they are suffering the most horrendous things. And I don't get no joy out of doing something like this, but see, I hope some Asian people, ones that speak English and the ones that don't, like any other people, watch how you do people. Because what you do, because a lot of what some of you, what you do is wrong, and what your perception is. But at the same time, the people some people who, in that particular group, when it comes to different other people, you don't find highly of. Well, you're being put in the same spot as the people, like in different parts of countries in Africa that don't have the fortune like you do. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about after this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anti-black racism is so bad on Chinese social media, it has made worldwide news. So I'm going to show you just a few of the headlines that have come out on this, and then I will get to my commentary. Ladies and gentlemen, we know racism is so rampant on the planet. That's one thing we don't have to lie about. And see, usually when we call these things out, the people that are guilty of these things will make a beeline over here and start trying to argue as if you're making this up. That's one thing our people never had to do. Racism is so prevalent through all of these centuries. Nobody's got to make it up, because all of you that do these things, you are the gift that keeps on giving. The anti-black hate is so bad on China's social media, a Human Rights Watch group had to call them out and tell them to do something about it. Now, I am certain it's not that many of us over in China for these people to be feeling this way. I know darn well we're not over there like that. Yeah, we know there are Africans, and even when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's really not that big of a population of Africans over there. I bet you there's more Chinese people in Africa than there are Africans in China.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have to agree with this. Now, China is so big on censorship, but they seem to be very lackadaisical when it comes down to anti-black racism that's going on their social media. And, it's just like here, it runs rampant. So why would it be less of it in China? They're just like anywhere else in this world. A bunch of people that hate us, and we have done nothing to them. And then look who got the anti-hate crime bill, y'all. here's one more. I mean, are we surprised? No. No, we're not. That's one thing this world will do is hate us, and that's to be expected. It's all over the globe. Yeah, we deal with it on a regular basis here in the United States, but it goes well beyond these borders, and we all know it. Okay, y'all. Now, yeah, in the headlines you'll see Africans more, but it's really us in general. To them, we're like one big lumped up group of black men, women, and children. And there are clear differences. We know it's a lot of spiritual differences. There's even physical differences when you look at our faces. You'll see different shapes of our faces, and the Africans will have a certain look and a certain facial features, and there are differences, but these folks don't care about those differences when they're posting this kind of stuff. They could care less. And as you can see, they're not only posting this stuff rampantly, they are just straight up trolling those black people and black creators. I guess wherever you can get away with it a lot more rampantly over in China because you're among your people, right? So let's get into it. So Human Rights Watch have noticed something really disturbing in China's social media networks. They have noticed a rampant amount of anti-black posts that are going up all over the place, and it is largely being ignored by authorities in China. So that's why they have been called out about this, and it's gone in papers worldwide. So social media platforms in China have come under fire by Human Rights Watch for allegedly disregarding widespread racism against black people while generating profit. So according to Al Jazeera, after reviewing hundreds of videos and posts in 2021 on platforms such as Weibo, a microblogging app, and others, and even the Chinese version of TikTok, the Human Rights Research and Advocacy Group discovered content that often depict black people through offensive racial stereotypes. Not surprised. The amount and extremity of racist content on the Chinese internet suggests that the platform either are not meeting their own standards banning racist content. Well, they're not banning it because they're not bothered by it. They're not bothered by it. It would never be rampant if they were. And quite frankly, especially Africa, y'all should be deeply offended. You got these people over in your country. I mean, I know they're over here, but they're over there for your resources. They're raping out your country for the resources. So, and it just goes to show you, you are giving them respect that they won't even give you when you go over in their land. We're never going to forget when the pandemic was going on and those Africans got thrown out of their apartments and homes they had over there and threw them onto the street. I have never, ever seen the Africans get the Chinese out of their homes and throw them on the ground to sleep. I have never seen that happen one time. But we all witnessed it during the pandemic. In fact, we were locked down here in America when that happened over in China. So, let me get into it. According to their report, the group discovered similar content on the video sharing site Bilibili, the live stream, and video apps, social media network, e-commerce, and I think that's Zoshu. These platforms, however, had yet to take any actions to remove the racism. Human Rights Watch observed the influencer videos portray African Africans as uncivilized or reliant on Chinese people. Isn't that also okay? So over here in America, we got that white savior thing. You know, they'll put the white savior movies out. Well, over in China, that's what they're considering themselves to the Africans, Chinese saviors. Gentiles are too much. You know, you're a savior, yet you save no one. So let's move on. So, you know, that's the sentiment that they're sharing online, that they are Chinese saviors to these dark people over in their country. Chinese people in unions with blacks are branded as traitors, while black individuals who married Chinese were accused online of contaminating and endangering the Chinese race. How exactly? Wow. Boy, I could really go there. Chinese women in interracial relationships frequently the target of internet abuse with threats of rape, doxing, and even death. During the pandemic, allegations of prejudice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Joining us is Emily Stark, Network Security.
Allegations of prejudice towards Africans in China surfaced when some were evicted from their homes and singled out for quarantine. Yes, and if you remember, they were trying to accuse the Africans of bringing the pandemic to China, which we know is absolutely not the truth. Africa barely had cases. If you remember, during the pandemic, Africa barely had cases. And they were even saying some of the cases, a lot of those cases were foreigners in their country. They didn't have a lot of it. And if you remember, they were trying to even almost like curse Africa. Oh, the Africans are going to need a lot of help. Oh, they're going to need so much help.
They sure did.
They didn't need any help at all. They were hardly getting it.
Nope.
But see, the people that got it, they really think they are above everything and Africa is just going to get everything. And it sure didn't pan out like that. In fact, when they were talking about who was doing worse during that time, it was the United States. United States was last on the whole earth in dealing with the pandemic at that time. Ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't Africa. Africa was doing way better than the U.S.
We lost more
among
people
other
here.
countries that were doing way better than the U.S.
That's true.
So we did see that, and many of us did videos, and we called that out. We called out that was clear racism going on. Some Africans in China claimed that long before then, blackface and racial caricatures were used in state media and advertising over in China. Yes, I remember the black man got pushed down into the washing machine by a Chinese woman, and then when she opened the lid to the washing machine, a Chinese guy came out. Yeah, we all remember that too, among other things, and blackface and all that. Yes, yeah, and they still do that over on social media. They still do that. You'll still catch Chinese people doing blackface. So Chinese people who denounce racism or offer assistance to victims of prejudice were often attacked. Yeah, just like here. They do the same thing as them folks do. They're really just following in that same path. So there's definitely no originality in what these people over in China are doing. It's no originality there when it comes down to the racism. So Human Rights Watch highlighted the most Chinese social media sites have community standards and guidelines prohibiting content that encourages racial and ethnic hatred and discrimination. Yeah, they have the policies, but they're not enforcing the policies. And that's what this human rights group is calling them out for. Yeah, you got all kinds of things speaking against discrimination and racism and stuff, but you're not enforcing it. And that's the bottom line. So, y'all, you're going to have to tell me what you think about this one.
Oh,
Am I surprised?
don't worry, Lisa, because what they've been doing, they're suffering right now as we speak. Watch this. See, when you mess with God's people, this is what happens when you mess with black people. One of his people we love.
To help Jersey Mike's tell everyone all about short points, we hired magician Justin
They
Willman
think
to
it's
spread
funny,
the word.
right? What they do to us,
You know,
right?
adding more chips like Lay's to your order gets you more short points toward.
This is going over in China.
The circumstances surrounding this incident.
The Chinese think this is funny what I'm about to show them. But that's not the only thing that's going on in China. The foreigners have left. There's no businesses in one city called Shanghai, one of the largest cities over there.
And that was when things would take a turn.
Shalom, family.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Okay, this one here is something. I saw some of this information going on, and on the event was going on in China. I was shocked to see something. I was absolutely shocked. I showed it to my family, and they were all shocked. I mean, some of the things that's going on in China right now is very strange. I mean, they're getting really, really hit hard. You know?
Yes, before we get into this, we wanted to thank those of you who are going to be joining us live. And those of you who are here for this information is something that should be very troubling to anyone who pays attention to biblical prophecy. If you're paying attention to biblical prophecy, then you should see, or you will see, that this stuff is lining up to exactly what the scripture talks about. So stay tuned for some of the things we're going to be sharing with you.
We'll try to speak up, family. Say the volume is low. We'll try to speak up and get it turned up as loud as it goes. So
You're in a little air in the background. Hey, we need it. It's kind of warm this week.
yeah.
But yeah, the topic at hand is it's going to be very disturbing. Some of the images is going to be very difficult to get out of your mind. One thing in particular, before we get into it, I've been having a hard time with it. Okay, so as you watch this, keep in mind that it was prophesied that in the last days we were going to see some tripped out things, and so here it is. It's upon us. And even though this is in China, other things are happening in other regions of the world, but when you look at the magnitude of what's going on, it's going to trip some of you out.
As a matter of fact, it's so bad. Some of the things that's going on in China so bad that if they had wildfires, I would think that this was. I would say, is China Babylon? You know, because that's how bad. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's how bad it looks when you see all these disasters hitting China like this. It's like, wow. And it's not just these disasters, because I'm gonna cover this at a later date. But there's also talking about there's a lot of things that's going on in China, like their auto industry is failing, their manufacturing industry is failing, and other things that's going on in China is just falling. You know? So we're gonna go ahead on and play this.
The housing is failing.
Before we get to the video is going to show
But
you
they're the
some
white saviors of the
disasters.
world, right?
I just want to make it very clear that we don't believe that China is Babylon. It's
Right,
just,
that's what I said.
and I wanted to make a point to say something. I thought about this before because I heard someone say something along these lines before, that a lot of the Most High's people are not in China. You know what I mean? And I think that's a very significant thing. So I wanted to point that out, that a lot of these people are not in China. So it makes me wonder when certain disasters happen in those areas, and areas such as that, that could be
Why
one
are
of
they
the
being
reasons.
racist to
I
us?
also thought about the fact
the country getting tore up.
talks about how some of these other nations will cleave to the
They
vine.
think it's funny.
Right? It is what
Mock
it is,
us.
y'all.
So
And
this
that
is what
cleaving
happened.
kind of shows that they want to keep us around because it's kind of like one of those things. If they are out, think about the story of Lot. Remember when the Most High removes all of his people out of that area so he can go through there and tear it up? Okay, that's what came to mind for me. It's not a lot of the Most High's people there. And so that could be the case. Now, of course, when we see disasters in areas where the Most High's people are, there's usually some type of track record of some major wickedness, right? A lot of witchcraft, voodoo, and all this godless stuff. You will see the Most High's hand definitely there on his people. So keep some of that stuff in mind. But when y'all see this stuff that's happening in China, oh my goodness, keep your eyes peeled for this. It is frightening. It's disturbing. A lot of it is very disturbing, and you cannot unsee it. So I'm gonna give you that alert right there. You cannot unsee it.
I want you to understand too, there's no audio with this, so we're going to continue to talk as the video plays so that you can see some of the things that's going on. Okay? So let's go right ahead and play this video.
If so, we have to ask whether it was Jimi Hendrix or maybe Paris.
My A1C was up here. Now it's down with Rebelsis.
The name Mothman would have been used to describe.
Someone in the chat put, Messenger of Fire says Habakkuk 2 and 12, woe to him who builds a town with blood and founds a city on iniquity. Wow.
Yes, wow.
Yes.
They show these tornadoes going through China. Certain areas in China was hit by these tornadoes.
So a tornado is something very common here in
That ain't
the
the only
U.S.
thing that happened there.
So get this, y'all. This ain't nothing compared to what you're about to see.
Yeah, it's not just tornadoes. That's what made this video so interesting, because it's not just tornadoes. They get hit with all of this stuff within the span of 2 weeks. This all happened in August, within the span of 2 weeks.
So as we
Tornadoes and all the other stuff, the earthquakes.
So as we see these things happening on the screen, we'll just kind of go over some of it with you, you know, and it's really a trip to see these things unfolding.
You look at this earthquake, I mean, this is like, man, you know, some of these earthquakes that are going on there.
He's tearing look at the people scurrying out. Look at that. He's shaking the place.
Yeah.
The people running out into the streets. Oh my goodness.
The thing that was crazy about it is, right after the earthquake happens, then all of a sudden they reported this strange behavior in animals. So you got all these birds, you know, it's just all these swallows, and the sky was just filled with chaos of birds all over the place.
Yeah, look at those birds. I mean, those birds they're acting frantic and afraid.
Yes.
And you see all of this disaster. All of this disaster happening in China, y'all.
Within a few days. It's all been days apart when all this stuff took place, you know?
And it seems to be, non-stop. It's like a continuation of one disaster after the other, one plague after the other, one...
Yes.
Look at that, look at all of the birds.
At night, all these swallows.
Moments of chaos. Biblical plagues, that's what they look like. One strange occurrence after the other.
Yes.
The magnitude of it is so great that they don't know what's going on. Now, China is known for being godless, y'all.
Then the floods came in. You know, after the bad rainfall, the floods came in and just...
You remember they celebrate the
just look
dragon.
at it. It tore some things
Buddhism.
up. The floods tore up roads and tore up buildings.
What's interesting is we've seen things like this happen in China over the years, right? But this month, we're not just talking about this year, this particular month, all of this is happening simultaneously, back to back to back.
Yes, people lost their homes, lost everything they had, you know.
Nita Brown in the chat says she's been watching it unfold the moment they said they changed the Bible, it started. Isn't that something?
Wow.
Yeah, I remember reporting on that recently, how they feel like they can change the Bible to say what they think it needs to say.
They
So
got
the Most High
arrogant.
said,
They're
you're not supposed to change
That's right.
anything, and He has His way in the heavens above, the earth below. Who can stay His hand and say, what doest thou?
That's
Look
that
up
was,
All of
close.
these
They
disasters.
see what this is? These are locusts.
Wow.
Millions of locusts everywhere. Right after the flood, and all of the water covered the crops and everything, these locusts just come out of nowhere. Almost to eat. I mean, they packed upon, packed.
That's why I said there's some things you're going to see that is going to look very, very disturbing.
That's all locusts.
mocking us. We wanted
Wow. So you think it's bad now? That's just China. Oh, now this is the thing that really bothered me.
These strange
Oh,
rocks
my goodness.
just started pushing their way through to the asphalt, to the concrete. We talking about
Oh,
an
my
asphalt
goodness.
road. They just started pushing their way up these white rocks.
See, listen, y'all, this bothered me so bad.
This
It's
is
like
strange.
us busting out of a bump.
Yeah, these
Oh,
white
my
rocks are just
goodness.
pushing up through the earth like this. What's going on with these white rocks?
That bothered me so bad.
Mhm.
Oh,
And then all of a sudden, all these bats just start crawling out of the grass, almost like they're trying to get away from the ground.
something.
them bets.
It's like, what is going on in China? And look at the fish now. These fish
Yes.
are going crazy. They
It's like
are
the
going
fish trying to
crazy.
get out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they know something is about to go down or something is happening, and they're just quickly trying to get out of the water.
Right. You're going to see in a moment where a lot of the fish are actually going to die.
That just really looks weird.
They're just leaping out of the water. Now,
And they have a
someone
big,
asks,
that's
what
a
is
big
our
industry
proof
over
that
in
God
China,
is doing
is the
this?
fish.
I'm just going to say this, and you say we have none. You obviously must not understand who the Most High is. He has His way in the heavens above and the earth below.
That's right.
There's nothing happening on this planet, the morph, they morph, or whatever
I'm
your
gonna show you
name
the
is.
next video.
Nothing happening on this planet that He is not fully aware of. And you say, I have none. Look at the screen. There's your proof right there.
The proof is right there. You know,
This is not something that is just what they call Mother Nature.
right.
I mean,
No.
Scripture talks about a blood red moon.
Witnesses, as with the celebration
folk don't understand. When you call something Mother Nature, who do you think created nature?
Yeah. And who do you think created it? All natural disasters are caused by Yah, by the Most High. All natural disasters.
You can take that human perspective all you want, but hey,
Yes.
I'm going to take the Most High's perspective. He's doing this.
And I get it. You must be an atheist. You probably don't believe that God has anything to
My
do with
question
anything,
is,
you know?
where's Buddha in
I
his,
mean,
his
that's how
savior?
atheists believe.
Where's
Most High's
where they
gonna
One day,
statue
the
gods?
scripture says every knee shall bow, even
Yes.
the
They
knees
worship
shall bow
over there.
one day.
Yes.
You know, to the Most High. Your knees are going to bow.
And the Most High is going to reestablish the fear of Him upon this earth.
Yes.
It says men's hearts are going to fail them for fear. Now look at all this stuff that's happening. Look at all the weirdness, the strangeness of what's happening in China. It is unbelievable. Like Char says in the chat, people better open their eyes and heart. Yah means what He foretold in the Holy Scriptures.
Yes.
Oh,
There's a lot of strange things happening. This water this one here is amazing because this is a desert. All of a sudden this water just started coming out of nowhere.
listen,
And
look.
just across the road, and many people couldn't
Wow.
even go through because it just washed it all away. And so
It happened here
Look at
too.
this.
vehicles are just stuck now. Look, it's like a desert.
Didn't you say it's a desert?
Yeah, pretty
Where did
much.
that water come from? That's tripped out right there.
Yeah, look at it.
Through a desert land that water came. Now look at these fields. Look at all of that. That field is filled with ants.
Yes.
And look at this, how the water is bubbling through the ground.
Through the ground.
This is water bubbling through the ground.
It's almost like geysers everywhere, you know? Water just bubbling everywhere.
This is some disturbing stuff we're looking at. And this is all in China, y'all.
And it makes you wonder if something going on underground for the earthquakes and the floods and the geysers and the way the animals are all acting. You know, it just makes you wonder. You know, the way the birds
kicked
are
out the black folks and
ants is
Africans.
all coming out of the ground like
and
that.
they went less than.
Millions of ants
Look
just
what
coming out
happened.
of the ground.
And that's not the only thing that happened.
More tornadoes. Now I see says, man, it's people who think Yah is so peaceful and merciful, like he'll never shake this earth. So exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at all this. Look at this water. He's shaking the earth from underneath. It's like
That's just one
everything
country.
over there in China seems to be
This
trying
ain't
to
hard
get
doing
us.
this.
About 30, 40 feet high.
Right.
This
the,
ain't hard
the water
doing this.
coming up from the
This
ground.
ain't hard.
The bugs coming up from
This
the
is
ground.
not hard.
The fish jumping up out of the water. Bats coming
This is
up.
not hard.
Even the rocks busting through the asphalt.
This is
What
not hard.
is that? What
Look
is it?
at the cornfield.
Y'all see the cornfield? Wow. That looks tripped
It
out.
does look tripped out. Water boiling in the cornfields and on the grass, natural grass and stuff. Water just boiling.
Coming up, bubbling up from the ground. Someone says the book of Second Baruch in effect. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
This is some incredible, tripped out looking stuff we're seeing. These are all different. Someone asked in the chat, are these all different locations? Yes, these things are happening all over China.
Yeah, this is all in China.
All over China.
You see the walkway there? So instead of somebody's walkway, the ground is just bubbling up like this.
All over China. So
Like some type of gas and it's trying to escape or something. Or some type of almost like it's volcanic land. I mean, look at it. It looks like
This is right in the
Yellowstone.
middle of grass. Look at that.
Yeah.
This is some incredible footage right here. CI says in the chat that now Japan is announcing that they will let that radioactive water into the ocean.
Wow.
And so look at this. Oh, look at those creepy crawlies.
Yeah.
Look at all of those bugs.
Going
Oh
in
my
circles.
goodness.
They go in circles like they don't know which way to go. Like there's something going on
Under the ground.
gravitational pull or something going on, magnetic, some type of magnetic disturbances underground or something, you know, or who knows, but it's very strange.
You in China.
Most High is definitely showing his hand in the earth. And it's only going to go from bad to worse, everyone. Like Panther says, our redemption is drawing nigh.
Yes, it is.
Todaya.
Yes, it is.
Someone asked why they're going in circles. I mean, you can only wonder. It's like the animals are deeply disturbed. They seem to be deeply disturbed.
Make it. For a world evolving faster, make it with Software Centric.
And this ain't, and like I said, for all these natural disasters to be happening, tornadoes and all this stuff, and on top of that, there are things going on with their business end, you know, with the manufacturing companies. One video that I saw, people were crying because China don't have any more imports. They want the United States to send them some business, and China isn't getting any business from the U.S. Is what the video was talking about, you know.
Yep, he's telling the truth.
So this
I'm
is
gonna show you in
strange
that
stuff,
video.
you know, all of the stuff that's going on with China, and you know, the auto industry, collapsing. The real estate market is crashing.
And they got Chinatowns
it's
over
like
here,
almost every
so they
end,
get their
there's
imports over
something
here from there to
crazy
over
going
here.
on with China.
Amanda says in the chat that these are
The
the
Chinese
birth pains
Americans
happening.
in China and
Yeah,
Chinatown,
Short family,
they get their
absolutely.
stuff from over there.
These are some of the birth pains
When you
because
go in their nail
it's not
salons
just in China that
and in
these
restaurants,
things are
that's
happening.
where stuff coming from.
They're happening
imported.
all over the planet. We're sorry if the volume is poor.
And they're gonna treat us like shit.
We're trying to speak as loudly as we
Okay.
can. It's quite possible that the air in the background could be taking some of that sound.
They think
but
it's
we're
superior
almost
to us?
finished anyway.
Okay.
We just wanted to share this with you all because
They think they're superior
the
to
strange
us?
things that are
Okay.
happening in China
Look what
are
happened.
just
So they get
they're
imports from over there.
too
It
strange
disrupt
to
their
ignore.
whole thing.
Yes.
It's gonna affect over here
T
and
says
around
showing
wherever
them
they at.
who
In
has
Africa
the
too,
power.
probably.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely showing his power. These are things they have no control over. They can't stop.
Nope.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is just the beginning. See, you see what I'm saying? If this is just the beginning, can you imagine how things are going to look later on? You know what I mean? All over the world are going to experience these things.
Right.
See, some areas of the world are doing really good right now. Life is just normal in some areas. But things are going to rev up to the point where stuff like this is going on all over the globe. All over. So we just got to prepare our minds to know that this is what we're going to see. We're
Right.
going to see things like this, We're going to see things that's going to be disturbing. You're going to see this stuff. It would be very nervous to see your ground around you bubbling up like that. Not knowing is everything about to go under.
Birds are going
Or is
crazy over
everything
there.
about to come up?
Birds are
Is it about
flying.
to go under or
Them
is
birds.
the ground about to come up, Or is it going to be some type of huge earthquake? That's what's amazing about it because we know the scripture talks about
The floods over
a
there.
large earthquake
Look at all that flooding.
covering the face of the entire earth. So we got to know that.
Tornado floods and washed out the roads.
Yes.
So, yeah, they got hit with a lot of stuff just within the span of just a few days.
Few
From floods
days.
to earthquakes to tornadoes to strange behavior of animals and just all kinds of crazy things going on. So I tell you one thing, you better stay woke.
That's
You
right.
better prepare. You better prepare your mind to deal with this thing. One part of the video, we didn't have that part of the video, but this one lady was crying because she was just talking about how she just lost everything.
Right.
And she's like, I can't afford this. I can't afford this. I was just about she was just doing something, just getting something going, and she said just all now everything is just gone. That's horrible. That got to be a horrible feeling to lose everything that you have.
Right.
To a disaster, to a natural disaster. So that's why we got to be prayed and we got to seek the Most High. We got to give Him our lives and just be guided by Him. And just go in the way that He wants us to go.
Yes.
Don't go to the left, don't go to the right. I mean, these days.
I want to show you that right quick. So, is it funny now? Is it funny? Mocking us? Is it funny? Because this is what this the next thing would happen. He didn't put this on his video. He probably got it on his video.
My
This is
favorite
another
band in high
video.
school was Skinny Puppy, which is this really obscure punk band from Vancouver. It's authentic.
For many foreigners, bustling China is symbolized by two cities, Beijing and Shanghai. One is a political center and the other is a financial center. Since the reform and opening up of China, Shanghai has been a window to catch a glimpse of China, attracting talent from all over the world. It's called a magic city by the Chinese to describe Shanghai's sophistication. People from around the world converge in the magic city to work, live, marry, have children, and put down roots. They become the new Shanghainese from different ethnic groups.
Shanghai in decline.
According to statistics, there were about 460,000 foreigners from 47 countries living in Shanghai before the pandemic. However, after Shanghai underwent an irrational lockdown, many foreigners left. The once prosperous Shanghai is no longer in its glory.
现在那个老外界啊，你们看一个你们也第二回的周。The street of foreigners is now, as you can see, deserted. It's a pity. It has lost its former glory. This is the Shanghai Foreigner Street. It's quiet with no people. There's no people.
说实话，这两天你们有没有这种感觉？就走在马路上。
To be honest, when walking on the streets in the past 2 days, do you have this feeling that the number of foreigners is a lot less? I've been living here. I walk outside often. Before, no matter whether it was in the neighborhood or on the street, I met people from different countries, and there were a lot of them, especially during meal times or certain moments. Now, there are still some, but not as many as before. This is how I feel right now. Yesterday, my father came to me and said, "Hey, have you noticed that there are fewer foreigners in this place?" When he said that, I had a reaction. Yes, it's true, except I didn't realize it before because it has been happening quietly. Do you think it impacts us? Directly or indirectly? More or less, it does. Let's take the rental market as an example. Let's say before many foreigners lived in Fuxing Middle Road, Sinan Road, or Huaihai Road, etc. And suddenly all the apartments in these places are empty and cannot be rented out. Then comes fierce competition. No one will rent them, and landlords wouldn't leave them vacant, right? For example, the rent used to be 25,000. And now I'm willing to take 20,000. If there are no takers, I'm okay with 15,000 and then 10,000. People who used to pay 10,000 would then move to places like Huaihai Road for the same amount of money. So the rent starts to drop. For example, when foreign capital leaves, many of the personnel are laid off. What do? They will go and compete for jobs like takeout delivery, driving online taxis, and so on. It's definitely not a good thing, but it's helpless because now it has already come to this point.
但是呢，这个也没有办法，因为现在都是这个样子。
Foreigners are gone. No one is renting the empty apartments. When the economy is down, rents are sure to drop. The rental market of Shanghai's luxury properties is experiencing a heavy blow.
The
rental market for luxury real estate in Shanghai has been affected a lot. Many foreigners have left and many flats are empty. I talked to a secondary landlord today. He is under a lot of pressure right now, with a net loss of more than 100,000 yuan a month. Since the tenants have left, he still has to pay rent to the owner. A flat costs 20,000 to 30,000 yuan. If he has a few vacant units, he will have a net loss of more than 100,000 yuan. So, he is under a lot of pressure, and he has asked me to help him find tenants. After lifting the lockdown, a batch of flats became vacant, and there is no way for the demand to catch up. You can't ask foreigners to come back after they leave, and they won't come back. Then there is no way to fill the demand domestically, so it will be tough to rent these units. The fact that foreigners have fled Shanghai and the foreigner street is deserted reveals a frightening fact. That is, too many foreign executives working for multinational corporations have left China. This means that multinational corporations are accelerating their withdrawal from China or downsizing their companies. Judging from the video, it's the rental and real estate market in Shanghai that's affected. But what it really affects is the economic development of Shanghai and even the entire country. Recently, an article titled "Such a Shanghai Makes Us All Sad" has been circulating on the Chinese web. It pointed out that many stores in Shanghai's busy neighborhoods were closed. The depressed situation is like a snapshot of a failing family. It has struck a chord with many people, especially Shanghainese. The article has since been deleted. The article begins by saying, "I know it's hard to hear, but I still want to say it. Seeing Shanghai the way it's now makes me sad." The author visited Shanghai with a friend from out of town and witnessed the current state of Shanghai Hongqiao Station, Nanjing Pedestrian Street, and Shanghai Railway Station. Each of these places has saddened him. He said he chose 3 places that were representative of Shanghai. The first is the Shanghai Railway Station. There are many storefronts of small and medium-sized proprietors. He learned previously from an online video that almost all stores in the underground passageways of the station had closed. He suspected that it was a rumor. So this time, when he had to drop off his friend, he chose to go to the Shanghai railway station so he could check out what was happening. It turned out, after confirming with his own eyes, that the rumors were true. The stores selling stationery, clothing, phone cards, and cell phone accessories were all closed. Behind the rolled-down iron doors, how many sad stories of small business owners are there, he asked. The author only took pictures. Here is a video of Shanghai railway station filmed by another individual, confirming the same story. We are here at the Shanghai railway station. It can be said to be the center of Shanghai and the one that has the best business. But let's take a look again. There have been a lot of stores over here, but they seem to have mostly gone out of business. For example, we can see the milk shed. It has more than 200 stores in Shanghai. Ahead, there were more stores closed, such as digital stores, those selling electronic products and clothes. When we look over this row, at least 10 stores are closed. When we look at that row, almost 10 are closed too. Looking over here, some are out of business. Over here still, there are a lot of closures as well. Many people aren't doing well work-wise in Shanghai this year. Last year, some people said that their business was still okay during the epidemic, but this year there was no business. The second,
when you have the social credit system being put together,
I'm gonna show you this video right quick.
626 million surveillance
Remember
cameras.
this Chinese man
China
went over
go back to
Africa?
the worst excesses of the
Well, hold on, let me show you this video.
A Chinese man named Luki disrespected Africans in a big way, and we talked about it when it first happened. He filmed African kids telling them to say words that are derogatory, but they don't know that, so they'll say it happily. He'll record them and sell it on a Chinese social media platform. He charges $70 per video, and this is how he was exploiting kids in Malawi. Once it was discovered that he was doing that, the Malawian authorities put an arrest warrant on him, so he fled the country and went to Zambia. So in Zambia, he was caught because he was there illegally. They extradited him back to Malawi and he was in custody up until now. In case you haven't watched the first video, let me show you.
In February 2020, a shocking video surfaced in China. Off camera, someone is giving African children sentences to repeat.
So that's what he was doing in Africa, exploiting our most vulnerable children. Luke was denied bail and remained in police custody until his sentencing. The court was told that Luke had already paid $16,000 to the government as compensation, and the money is being used for the victims and also helping the school children in that area he made that video at. And they said he's already served his time because the sentencing was for 1 year. He was already in custody for that time. So now they are deporting him, and they gave him 7 days to leave their country and go back to China. So this is good. At least justice has been served. Not enough, I don't think, because $16,000 is nothing compared to the damage that he has created. Not just that, he made money off of those kids. Did they investigate how much money he made exploiting the kids? If he made 50,000, everything should go there. If he made 100,000, it should go to those kids in Malawi.
Exactly.
And 1 year in prison, I don't believe is enough for what he did, but you know, they are deporting him. Of course, it's something. He got caught and he did serve 1 year, but I don't know if the time he served fits the crime that he committed. Anyways, family, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this man serving 1 year, paying $16,000, and being deported back to.
Now, I'm gonna start right here. Now you see why I made this video, because these Chinese have done this. They did it over in Africa, and like Lisa said earlier, they threw something in the street, but they didn't have no human dignity. So this is the results of it. They losing business. Foreigners are leaving it. Foreigners. They have weather disasters have tore one part of China up to another part. So hey, but they think they're the smartest people on the planet, and we black people and other people are less than. Well, too bad they couldn't figure out a way. If they're so superior, how come they can't use that technology to protect them from the weather? I guess they're not so superior when it comes to that. But hey, that's what you get when you think you're above people. And they just ain't do it over there. They do it over in Africa. Some of them have come over here in America with that mindset. But I wonder how they feel looking at some of their friends and relatives back in Shanghai and Beijing and other places going through that right now. I wonder how does it feel. And I even show you about the part that they got some even sleeping in the substation over there because they're homeless. But you're superior. You got racist people on there. Don't even know that but they're too busy mocking other people while their country going to hell. Ain't that something? That even in the midst of them, they can make fun of black people. And black people have not done nothing to them. And black people probably, some of us are so Christianized, we would pray for them. And they still be cursing us. So hey, it is what it is. But see, that's what happens when you mess with God's people. God don't like ugly. And that not only that, but that was probably one of the major reasons because they messed with his word. And you don't mess and take out anything in his word. China caused that because they try to rewrite the Bible. So yeah, because they want to put in Buddhist writing or some Eastern religion writing, and they see the results of it. That was the ultimate slap. And that's all the other stuff they've done too. And it should send a message to other people too. They don't pay to do evil, the ugly to anybody. And that's how I feel about it. But yeah, it's just, hey, you know what I'm saying? After seeing something like that, like, you can't feel sorry for them. They think that they're superior. They come to another part of the land, and they've been over. This was not just Africa. They've gone down in the Caribbean islands with that mindset. And one time, they did something. I think it was in Jamaica somewhere. So that Jamaicans couldn't come in their restaurant. Them Jamaicans got mad and burnt that whole restaurant down. They thought that they was gonna come down there with that superior. Now they coming down there with some kind of version of white supremacy with Asian supremacy, and them Jamaicans showed them what Asian supremacy was really about. Like, you ain't gonna come down here and come down there with this, and they've done this in other places too in the past. So see what I'm saying, black people, is that hey, and so when you go in their restaurants and their nail salon, it's gonna come back to hurt their business, because sometimes their imports, what I was saying during the video, they come from China. So now it's hurting their business over there and hitting the import production. So hey, to the Chinese, hey, it is what it is. Let's see who's superior now. You think it can be superior over the people, and tell your people that in your language. Yeah. So they say, hey, it is what it is. You know? When you see, remember, and like Lisa was saying, you threw those Africans out, you accused them, you made them seem like they were brought the coronavirus. Yeah, I remember that stuff. We remember that. Put it on the black people, put it on the Africans. Yeah. Now you seeing the God that we serve come and answer for us. Yeah. Yeah. It ripped that economy, didn't it? They ain't so superiority thinking now. And that's hitting every industry. That means that they hit that even the foreigners left. So that even the even other foreigners that they put high regard to, they don't even want to stay over there. The Europeans, well, probably mostly European and Arabs and different ones. So now they left. Ain't that something? And kick tell the Africans to kick rocks and other people. Someone that look like us. Yeah. You had that payment due, bro. And it's coming back three folds. So black people, when they keep messing with us, the Most High is answering on our behalf. As you see, they ain't the only nation is suffering. They keep messing with us. I told many people like us told these people this. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. But they wouldn't listen to us. They keep messing with us, antagonizing, bullying us, mocking us and everything, discriminating against us, harming us, putting their hands on us. Now look what happened. Now black people, all you gotta do is you the final punch. Do you want to keep supporting them? These superior with ones with the Asian supremacy mindset, because they already knocked out. You can take the final blow as far as your money, and that's it. You can reduce them down who the people they thought they were superior to, and that's why they looked at the Jamaicans and the Africans. They're in the same boat as the Jamaicans and the Africans now. Why they being superior over somebody? Their kingdom just got rocked. Now they can't rent. That's why I was like, ain't that something? They had to drop that rent. That's why I kind of chuckled at. They had to drop the rent. Cause they try to do the high like they do over here. They had to drop it. They start dropping. Choo. Drop it down from 20. What's about 25 down to 10 grand. Wow. Hey, nobody want to live over there. Who can't blame them? I would live over there. Shoot. But hey. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you like this video. Share, dislike, subscribe. But yeah, share it with somebody. Tell them what's going on. This is what happened when you mock God's people. We are the people of the book. We have put some respect on that. This is what we trying to tell you. That's why you see all these videos of us saying that we are the people of the book. And they try to dismiss us. Now you see the results of it. And other nations going to start saying it too. Alright then. Like and subscribe. Next time, see you on the next video.